Hi, I'm Mike of Neil F. Dice, and we're back in Nemoria. If you're getting the impression that I'm swapping between different games because I'm not quite sure what I really want to be doing, you'd be correct. Now, this is actually a pretty successful game, I have to say. I'm in the 12th day of fall of year 2, whereas my previous game didn't even get to the end of winter of year 1. So I'm feeling a bit smug, which is probably going to be my downfall. Although I have to say, if you had a graph of my population over time, it would be. I mean, at the minute, where are we? At the minute, we're at 7. Oh, and this is the thing. Deceased 31. Yeah, so I've had some serious ups and downs. I think the most I've ever had is 13 population. So this is Upground. Obviously, got a lot of stuff going on here. Storage, bedrooms. This indicates just how many people we had at one point. This is the main kind of where I've been mining. Down on depth -9. And most of this was dug out. All this stuff was copper, which I have since used, it must be said, sadly. Some coal. And I've started doing a bit of a grid to, dig out more stuff. But I've run out of people. I think, if I remember correctly, right, the first huge population crash was I'd gotten enough people. I'd started building this wall. In fact, I had finished building this first wall, and this is a training ground. So the idea being that you will have people training here, getting very good at things. Things along those lines. I'm beginning to think I need to change things about a bit, though, in terms of squads. Anyway, so the idea is that these guys, there'll be always people, training in front of here. Oh, a yak, sweet. So if any bad guys come along, the soldiers are right there, and you don't need to tell them to go there. You don't need to set up guards, kind of patrol routes or anything. They'd be right there. All very fine and good until a bear wandered past, right? So you have to imagine these walls weren't here, all this stuff here. Bear wandered past, and one of my guys ran after the bear. And bears are lethal. Bears will just chew through people. I originally thought, I tried very hard to right, stop, set the squadrons, run away from the enemy, run away. And I didn't, and then I thought, well, I must rescue the guy. So everyone, if we all pile on the bear, I'm sure, no, the bear just murdered like 10 people. And I was down to, I think, 3 at that point. I think I may have had 2 injured, and I think, it was 2 injured and 2 actual active people. At which point I created the all-rounder profession, which everyone does everything, which is probably very inefficient. But at the time, it was the only thing I could think of to do to make sure that as much as possible was being maintained. So that was a big crash, and then I got when the next season came by, a bunch more names came in, so that was okay. But then there was a big fight over here where I'd said, go and pick these fruits. And it just turned out that a bunch of goblins were there, and one of them was quite tough and had an axe, and was really dangerous. And he did a bunch of murdering. He murdered so many people. And eventually those goblins were killed. But that was another big crash. I'm down, and so I went back. So then next season I got some more gnomes, and then I've had a couple of goblin invasions, which have basically nibbled away. Like they took one or two. So most of my gnomes are in military terms. I've made these squads: unarmed civilians 1 and unarmed civilians 2. There's room for unarmed civilians 3, but I really need. I think I need to move. See, I've got this guy. Because he's done some mining. He has therefore got a pickaxe on him. He is therefore not an unarmed civilian. And unarmed civilians have different needs to armed civilians. Now, if they're not like on duty right now, then they will go about doing their other duties. So that's fine. So everyone has a period in here. Oh, it's now winter. Ooh, I should get some new folk in a bit. Every so often, so they're on a schedule to go to the training ground. But armed civilians have different needs to unarmed civilians. And so I've set everyone in a what I've called a Kung Fu Gnome thing, where Kung Fu Gnomes, they use the Way of the Gnome bonus, which is increased attack speed, attack damage, dodge chance, and dodge rate when no armor or weapon is equipped. So obviously I should really move those. I should find out specifically who's got weapons and put them into the armed civilian group. That's a thing I need to do. So what has been working that has made me I think what has enabled me to be successful this time round was literally on day one I made this farm plot, right? Because you get 32 wheat seeds. So I made a 32 square wheat farm. You also get 32 strawberries, so I made a 32 strawberry plot. And I made a yak pasture big enough to hold exactly 3 yaks. So this was, I then walled it in. Most of these walls were, in fact, at least, half the walls were carved from the countryside. So this was actually, there was a slope coming down here, and I carved all this out. And I used this, we're on the water there, so that's another natural barrier. So that was all entirely walled in. And then, so I've got this long corridor here, which wasn't my intention, but it was the way it turned out. I could do that. So I've got a long corridor with doors in it. If I just go down. So there's doors on either end. So that's going to slow down any bad guys. And then I expanded. To start off with, it's just that yak pasture and those. And every so often just going out and getting lots of fruit. That kept me going for a long time. I killed my first yak. I always feel better about if you're killing your first yak, it's better if the first yak that gets born is a male yak, because you don't really need another one of them for a while. But the first yak was a lady yak, but I still butchered her right away so that I could get a tailor up and running for all sorts of things, including bandages and mattresses and so on and so on and so forth. So that started working out pretty well. So I was able to do, the standard expansion. You start digging down, start doing some mining, things like that. I then expanded this wall here. No, actually, I think this was the first one. I think this was the first expansion. making a great big huge wheat field and a cotton field. Oop, we're saving. Oh, I haven't actually got any new. Oh, I've paused. I'm kind of hoping for new recruits soon. Might be day one, day two. It's now morning of day one, so maybe this is about when they'll arrive. Anyway, so cotton. So I no longer have to go out and get cotton. I no longer have to get out the walls. I actually have more wheat than I know what to do with. When I first had my all-rounders and I had my first influx, they oh darn, can we? Gnomes have arrived. I've got 8 nomads. Right. Now theoretically I could start because I now have a population of 15. I could now start changing them and make them into different things. If you mouse over it, you'll show you their most important skills. But you'll notice that most of them actually they don't really have any skills. That one's got wood cutting skills. That's it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make everyone an all-rounder. And I mean, you know, I really should be. I'm going to have to go through and properly assign people. Oh, I can expand that this week. Oh, you were did I? No, don't think I made you a soldier. I think I accidentally made you a. I see what's going on. I don't necessarily get the bottom of the list there. Now, the other thing is that there is a goblin kind of mine thing, or it's a tunnel, or it's a something. Oh, is that? Do I still have jobs there? Oh, I've got clean floor. Oh, let's get rid of that. Let's not do that. Could be slightly inconvenient because you can create jobs at different Z levels, but you can't cancel them at different Z levels. What I'm aiming to do is just stop them from having to leave at all. That's interesting. I may cancel that job in a second. Oh, come on. Right. I was explaining about this thing. If goblins turn up, but you have walled yourself in and they can't get in, eventually they'll get bored and they'll go away. Oh, come on. They'll eventually get bored and they'll go away, right? But what that will do is they will then bring what are known as goblin tunnelers, which means that oh, for heaven's sake. Which means that they will appear. A structure like this will appear, right, in your base. That's getting slightly aggravating. Now you can deconstruct it in your base, and if you don't deconstruct it, goblins will come out of it, and that's probably bad because you've probably not arranged for you know, defenses inside your wall. So I'm wondering whether or not I can deconstruct this. Now what's going on here is I've set up clear clean floor. Right, okay, I'm just going to go with it's not possible because people are getting up to it and then they're cancelling it, and then so I don't think they can. I'm pretty sure they can find a path. There we go. Because the path is right there, but there's something's going on which says they can't get up there. So I was wondering if I could deconstruct this and not have goblins turn up for a bit. That would have been nice, but I don't think it's possible. Right, the other thing is, can I find more of these? And I just, because I set this up, there was a point where I needed clippings, or yeah, I needed clippings, or I'd felled all of these or something, and so there's a bunch of clippings here now. And I'd said, you know, go and well, I'm turned around now. I'm very confused. There we go. You know, I told them to go and clean. You know, I issued a specific go and clear everything up from that point order. But of course, that's then leaving the compound, which I don't want. Yeah, so I'll get some tinkering going on. That's also good. Very slowly. Ooh. I want to invent crossbows, and I can't invent crossbows until someone's sat at this tinkering bench for quite some time and filled up this invention progress thing. And then I can start making things with the machine shop and the engineer shop. Anyway, this was my first expansion, which was this here. I then cleared out a big area. Like, there's an actual hill here, and it's all gone now. I just mined it all out. This was my second expansion, I think. No, one of these was I can no longer remember. Maybe this was my first one. And I planted some trees. And I've also set up some, and well, the first thing I actually did was I set up this pasture. And this pasture is 6 yaks wide, but it only allows 1 male. So there are now 5 females and 1 male, which means they're going to be making more yaks from time to time. And now any spare yak automatically gets butchered. Later on, I put in some groves, and I have demonstrated that I have more, they create. I don't like these guys. They're going out. I don't want them going out, but I can't stop them. Because there are going to be goblins up here, which means unless I can get them to clear everything out here very quickly and gather all the saplings. That was an ominous noise. Oh, I see. The goblins are already over. They're all the way over here. Okay. Right. Let's chuck everyone into squads who's not already in a squad. Everyone's an all-rounder, so I might as well just chuck people into the various squads and just go for it. Because these are unarmed goblins, which means they should actually get murdered fairly quickly. Which means I can now unleash my... Can I expand this window? No. So we're going to end on a fight, I think. Which I hope is not going to take too long. This is something I should have done immediately because this is set up to have the unarmed civilians in rotation, so there should always be someone training. Now everyone will come and fight the goblins, and hopefully they will murder the goblins before the goblins murder any of my guys. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Because we all know eat those goblins. And you saw how rapidly... Oh, did someone die? Yeah, someone died. I think 2 people died, looks like. No, only one. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I don't have enough metal to make armor. I thought, I've got these 2 groves running. I thought I had enough groves to keep a permanent supply of logs, but it's winter, I won't be growing anything. So anyway, that's my current Nemoria setup. I don't know if I'm going to be doing more Nemoria videos, but I thought it might be interesting to see how things are set up at the minute. My population currently on the upswing, but we'll see what's going to happen. If what normally happens is going to be anything to go by, I'm going to have I'm going to do fine, and then some point early in the season, I'm going to lose everybody again, and I'm going to have to wait a long time to get more gnomes. Maybe I just need to get armor up and running. Get leather, get everyone in leather, maybe. But then, of course, then I lose the Kung Fu Gnome ability, so it's hard to tell. I can't do any automated defenses until someone's filled that up. So I may make some more Tinker Benches, and just everyone who's idle just starts becoming a tinker. Anyway, that's that. We're going to eat those goblins. That's going to be delicious. We're going to also going to be melting down their equipment, I think. So that'll be cool. So until next time, thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe. If you're enjoying these videos, come visit neildice.com. We will have links in the video description for Facebook and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And until we meet again, have a very gnomely day.